Hello! Welcome to my channel where we power through up with the Lord Jesus for his message of the cross, his power and reason and wisdom and reason. Tell you a story someone told me once. She said she knew a lady whose daughter was Sasa. In Chinese, that's rascally, but sort of foolish. She was smart, but didn't have much common sense, or maybe she wasn't really the brightest. But I think the Lord. Her parents were Christian, spoke to her and said, "Why don't you be a piano player in the church?" And when she started, she wasn't very good, but then she became a good piano player. And she played the piano for years, for free, for the church every Sunday. And she did a great job. And slowly she told, as her testimony to everyone, and this person overheard it, that the Lord, that's God, the Creator, gave her wisdom, made her smarter, and she always was depressed. She always had this depressed, no one likes me, kind of, no one likes you. No one likes you. But the Lord also filled her heart with peace, probably, and confidence, a quiet confidence, meekness, and you could start to see it on her face, like a certain glow or light. And she would smile more. And she never thought she would get married, and what do you know? Today she's married and she has a couple kids. So number 16 is Korah's rebellion. So if you're following along, it started with complaining, grumbling. Some Israelites wanted more food to fall from heaven. And even Moses' sister felt discontent. Why is Moses the only one that has the honor? And she said something like, does God not speak to us too? And now a rebellion. Korah, the son of Izhar, son of Kohath, son of Levi or Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with the number of the people of Israel, 250, chiefs of the congregation, chosen from the assembly, well-known men. They assembled themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said to them, "You have gone too far, for all in the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Why then do you exalt yourself above the assembly of the Lord?" When Moses heard it, he fell on his face. he fell on his face. Maybe his face fell, maybe his face was like, just fell down. And he said to Korah and all his company, in the morning, the Lord will show who is his and who is holy, and will bring him near to him. So holiness, some people see a guy or a gal, a woman, and say that must be a holy man or a holy woman. Here, Moshe is saying, holiness is you belong. You know what I mean? To God. But who really is holy? That might be the question. CV. Not into. So using this verse. You know what I mean? There are many religions, and they might claim all to have a form of holiness, but only the Creator, that created everything, the Most High, is holy. He is thrice, they call him thrice holy. So only servants and those who do the work of the one true God can be as, not quite holy, but can be as holy, because he said, be holy as I am holy. So you got to pick the right guy, I guess they could be holy because they do, nice things and they're religious. But you have to be doing the work of the one true God, the Creator guy, because he is holy. And if you serve that guy, then you have a form of holiness. You are as he is holy. Yep. And it says that you belong to him, and then you're close to him. Will bring you near to him. The one whom he chooses, he will bring nearer to him. Do this. Take censers, Korah, and all his company. Put fire in them, and put incense on them before the Lord tomorrow in front of him. And the man whom the Lord chooses shall be the Holy One. You have gone too far, sons of Levi or Levi. And it's funny because Moses is a Levite. Remember, if you followed my videos, his dad was a Levite and his mom was also a Levite. And Aaron is his brother, so, they have the same parents. Moses said to Korah, hear now, you sons of Levi, is it too small a thing for you that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to do service in the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister to them, and that he has brought you near him, and all your brothers, the sons of Levi or Levi, with you? And would you seek the priesthood also? So a lot of the sons of Levi or Levi, remember, they handle the tabernacle. They have to wrap it with cloth. They're like movers, so they're like I'm a mover, I want a better job. I want Aaron's job. You're getting kind of greedy. But, there's a certain saying. This is a bad one. If you're a would-be Christian, maybe you just want to believe me, but because I've been what's called walking with the Lord for a while, walking with Him. Not that fast, but, walking with Him is like advanced. My advanced IQ is like this trajectory, for maybe almost 20 years now. And there's a saying, I'd rather rule in hell than serve in heaven. And it's wrong. It's wrong. When you rule in hell, you just want to do whatever you want to do, When you serve in heaven, it's not necessarily heaven, but you're like a good person, trustable. You could work for a company as a good employee or like a good manager that's serving in heaven. Rolling in hell is like you just want to do whatever you want to do, and sometimes you can't do whatever you want to do. There are, you have to be disciplined and follow a tradition, like a business tradition. And even I heard when you join like a corporation, there's something called corporate culture, and you have to like conform yourself to that culture. You can't just do whatever you want to do, I want to be myself, When you join that corporate culture, they expect you to fit in. You can't just do whatever I want to do. And so at this point, they were unhappy. It's very prestigious to be the ones that can be that close to these holy things, Remember, the tabernacle has all this stuff made of gold and the best curtains made of the finest linen, and some of this stuff is really cool, like a bronze altar that's almost as tall as a man, with horns on it. And that altar is like a big barbecue grill. So there's, barbecue forks and spatulas. And there's a special oil that they must pour on these things to keep them nice smelling and clean. And they have to like wrap them up and some of them carry them. Some of it is, I think most of it, they have to carry it. Some of them take it down and wrap it up, and some of them have to actually carry it. And some of the things have poles, so they're heavy. So like 4 of them will have to carry something big, put the pole on their shoulder and walk with it. That's a cool job, but I guess they're not content with that. They want to be Aaron. Like, Aaron, I want your job. We want to be 250 Aarons. And Moses, this is verse 12, sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab. Let me paraphrase. This is taking too long. They said, "Nope, we're not coming. You brought us out of. Is it a small thing? You have brought us up out of a land already flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness. And now you have to make yourself a prince over us. You have not brought us into the land. So they're saying that they didn't trust Moses and Aaron. And then Moses was very angry and said to God, the Creator, said to the Lord, do not respect their offering. I have not taken one donkey from them. I have not harmed one of them. And Moses said to Korah, be present, you and all your company, before the Lord, you and they and Aaron tomorrow. And everyone, remember, bring your censer, that's like an incense burner, put incense in it, and then come before the Lord, that's at this tent, the tent of meeting, and there's 250 of you, bring your 250 incense burners. So they did that. See, if you've been following the videos, Moses sparked it. So he used to be a general, it was tricky. You could smell a setup, So every man took his incense burner, censer, and then they stood at the entrance to the tent of meeting with Moses and Aaron. Then Korah assembled all the congregation against them at the entrance. And then the glory of the Lord, appeared to all the congregation. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, separate yourselves from this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell on their faces and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and will you be angry with all the congregation? And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, say to the congregation, get away from the dwelling of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. So he went to them, Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. He spoke to the congregation, this is Moses, depart please from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest you be swept away with all their sins. So they got away from the dwelling of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. So remember, they live in tents. So it was funny. It's like let's say you live in a neighborhood, and I guess a cul-de-sac is the best example. Let's just say you live in an area and there's 10 houses, and then 3 of them, God doesn't like them right now. He's saying, okay, you 7, move away from them. The 7 people have to move away, and so there's 10 houses, and it's like an abandoned neighborhood except for those 3 houses. And Moses said, hereby you shall know that the Lord has sent me to do all these works, and that it has not been of my own accord. If these men die, as all men die, or if they are visited by the fate of all mankind, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord creates something new, and the ground opens its mouth, and swallows them up with all that belongs to them, and they go down alive into Sheol, then you shall know that these men have despised the Lord. So that's what happened. After Moses spoke, the earth, the ground split apart under them, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up with their households and all the people who belonged to Korah and all their goods. So they and everything that belonged to them fell into the earthquake, so to speak. The earthquake, during an earthquake, sometimes the ground will split. But the ground split so badly. I've never seen an earthquake that bad. That they fell into the earth, and they fell into the earth. And then the earth closed over them, it says here in verse 33. And they died. Everyone everyone moved away from them. But they were so afraid. They fled and they were crying out. They were running. And then they said, lest the earth swallow us up. So the other sons of Levi or Levi started to run around. Remember, because the Lord, God the Creator, made the ground open up and swallow those 3 people. So there's still 247 others. And then fire came out from the Lord, that's lightning, and just struck the other one. Or it could be 250. It might have been 253 of them. Or a total of 200. Let's take a look. They rose up with a number of... Okay, there were 253. So 250 sons of Levi or Levi were hit by lightning and they died. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, tell Eleazar, the son of Aaron, to take their censers out of the blaze. So the ground was on fire. There was fire everywhere. I forgot that. When lightning hits the ground, it creates, light the ground on fire. There's fire everywhere, and then Eleazar had to, I don't know how he did it. It must have been really hot, like how firemen will go into a burning building. Eleazar had to go in there, and there's all these burnt bodies, and the ground's on fire. It's gross, and then he had to take their incense burners. It says, scatter the fire far and wide, for they have become holy. Wow. I've never heard the Lord speak like that. It sounds like Kim does it. Sounds like they wanted to be holy and they all wanted to take Aaron's job. And they said that they are all holy. That's what they said. In the beginning of this chapter, he said, Moses and Aaron have gone too far for all of us, 250. We're all holy too. And then the Lord goes, so you think you're holy? He hits them with lightning, and they're dead, and their bodies are on fire. And he goes, yep, I guess you're holy. Holy dead. WHOLLY. Dead. It's right there. Then scatter the fire far and wide, for they have become holy. They're dead. As for the censers of these men, scatter the fire probably is let it be known, far and wide is usually fame, you know what I mean? Like people have heard. So scatter the fire far and wide. Let everyone know, let it be known that these men are not holy. The Lord killed them with lightning. And look at their dead bodies. They're dead and they're burning on fire. There's fire everywhere. So the Lord, that's God again, he said, take their censers and hammer them flat into plates, and then we will put them on the altar. And they were made a covering for the altar. So, remember the Ark of the Covenant? It had a cover. It's like a box with the 10 Commandments in it, and it had a cover, like a lid, with a top to it, with those two angels, holy angel warriors, Kadosh Malachim. There's figures, two of them on there. So they took their incense burners and will make them into some kind of top for the altars to. I guess they never did that yet, And it will be a reminder. So when people come to offer their sacrifices, they will see these tops, right, to the altars, and they were like, oh, okay. Yeah. I remember when those dudes tried to take Aaron's job. God struck them down with lightning, lit them on fire, dead. And the ground even opened up and swallowed them and died. So that no outsider who is not of the descendants of Aaron should draw near to burn incense before the Lord. Oh, they wanted. Remember, Aaron is the only one that gets to go into this tent and burn incense right in front of the ark. But the ark is behind a curtain too. These 253 guys, like, we want to do that too. And then God was angry. Nah, naps. I already said that only Aaron could do that. And his sons can't even do it. His sons have to wait till they succeed him as the high priest. Only one dude could do it. Only one person could do that. So, on the next day, all the congregation of the people of Israel grumbled again. You have killed the people of the Lord. And when the congregation had assembled against Moses and Aaron, they turned toward the tent. That's where God will come down sometimes from heaven. And behold, the cloud covered it. And he did. He appeared. The glory of the Lord appeared. And Moses and Aaron came to the tent, and the Lord said to Moses, all right, get away from the midst of this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And Moses said to Aaron, take your censer and put fire on it from off the altar, and lay incense on it, and carry it quickly to the congregation, and make atonement for them, for wrath has gone out from the Lord. The plague has begun. So Aaron did, what the Lord said. Because you have to remember, he said that Moses was very humble. So he didn't brag about what he did, because he used to not only be the Egyptian prince, he ran a lot of Egypt for the Pharaoh, Ramesses. I don't know why. Egyptians were always like that. They always wanted to find someone who has wisdom and capability, and they just put their full confidence in them. Do it. We trust you. And they just, I don't know, it says in the Holy Bible they didn't want to care about anything except their food, or enjoying themselves, They wanted to find someone who could be dependable and do a great job. And that was Moses for a while. He was not only royalty, he ran Egypt, and then he was a general for them. He fought for them. He led troops for Egypt. But he's also humble in this way, He's like a messenger a lot of the time. He'll never say that he said. He would say, the Lord saith. The Lord would say, come Moses. And then Moses would show up. Here am I, Lord. This is what I wanted to tell people. And then he's like, yes, Lord. Go out there. This is what the Lord said. Some people would make fun of a guy like that. Don't you have any thoughts of your own? Every time you show up, you're telling me what God said, So Aaron did what Moses said, what God told him. And the plague started. And he put on, so he lit his incense and made atonement for the people. And he stood between the dead and the living. And the plague was stopped. Now those who died in the plague were 14,700, besides those who died in the affair of Korah. And Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance of the tent of meeting when the plague was stopped. Thank you for listening. So, Aaron lit it so everyone wouldn't die. That's the way I understand it. All right, keep God first, and remember, He'll take you places.